What's up guys, Luke here, and today you guys get to be the star of the show. Or maybe the subject of the ridicule from your peers. Just kidding. We're pretty good around here about respecting other folks' points of view, and that's kind of what makes this community so cool. A few days ago, I posted on the community page asking for your credit card hot takes, and you guys did not disappoint. Today, I'm going to read those hot takes, and I'll try to quickly maybe give my opinion on them. I'm hoping to get through as many as possible, but this may end up being a relatively long video, so grab a coffee or a cold drink and get comfortable. If you like videos like this, subscribe to the channel, and if you agree with any of these hot takes, slap that like button for me and let's get right into it. Well, sorry, real quick. Thank you to everyone who contributed these hot takes. We all have different opinions and perspectives, so make sure you comment if you disagree, but please, 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 let's all be respectful. Longtime friend of the channel, Isaac, states, "Don't let the Chase 524 rule you. Chase has some great cards, but the rule influences you to get their cards first." I'm partially on board with Isaac on this one. I would not ever let the 524 rule carry a ton of weight for me. The only exception is if you make the commitment to dive Titanic deep into this game, then I would suggest getting Chase cards that you want fairly early, and I would use Chase business cards to help with the 524 restrictions. Rowdimus1 says, "If you live near a major grocery store listed on Chase's shop through portal and you do online groceries with them, then the CFU just became a pretty powerful card." I'm going to be honest, I'm not exactly familiar with that technique, but I'll look into it. Real RJ, not to be confused with my colleague RJ Financial, says the best travel card ever released was the Citi Prestige. If you guys have been around long enough, you will remember Citi had to nerf this one because folks were getting unreal value from it. 5 times on tons of categories and lots of free nights when booking hotel stays with that card. They eventually took away the travel protections and limited the free nights to 2 per year, and then they stopped taking applications for the card altogether. Even post-nerf, the Citi setup, including the Prestige, could rival just about any trifecta out there. It is still a very powerful card in a Citi setup, but I think we can all look forward to one of the Strata cards to replace it very soon. My man Chad's Money Minute says, "As a travel card and all-around spender card, the Built Rewards card is far and away better than the CSP, Chase Sapphire Preferred." You guys know I love Chad, and Chad is actually one of those G's that for sure walks the walk. But I'm not really on board with this one. Even though I have really no love at all for the CSP, the 25% bonus makes it a great travel card for a lot of people. I just don't see the Built card, as great as it's been, being able to continue its pace for the homeowners. I don't think it's a card I can recommend. No bonus, no superpower, and no way to really rack up tons of points. Built does have some serious hitters as partners though, and I know Chad is maximizing that card for sure. GH Gillen says that declaring the best setup at any time is just silly because the game is always changing and so are our goals. Gillen, you're absolutely correct, but sometimes you have the math nerds on one side and the feel goods on the other, and by feel goods I think I mean people that fall for the marketing. And like you mentioned, the mission always changes. I think the purpose of the best setup videos or articles really is to spark interest and the thought process. If I hear about the best setup for this guy, it really gets my brain running and thinking, well, how does that apply to me and my lifestyle? I agree with you 100%, but I still like to listen to someone talk about their best setup. Abdu Holly's World says that Citi and Capital One are on the same team and should work together. And Amex should add a card in between the platinum and the black card. Abdu Holly, I'm going to respectfully disagree. Citi and Capital One are very different entities. They are competitors in the credit card space for that third position, but I do really like the products they offer. As far as the Amex card, whatever happened to the Optimo card? I think a lot of us would be very interested in that tier card, and I'd love to hear the coupon card complainers trash the Optimo. That would be pure entertainment for me. iCustomer PR has a good one. Capital One Venture is a better travel credit card for beginners than the Chase Sapphire Preferred. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think the edge could actually go to the Chase card for a reason I will regret saying. Hyatt Hotels. Capital One doesn't really have great hotel partners, and I think most folks could get more out of the Chase portal. And when the beginner progresses and adds the Freedom cards, then the CSP really pulls away. Andy's Credit Corner says the following: lounge access tends to be overhyped, as many people are not in the position to use one. One's home airport may not have a lounge, and lounges can be overcrowded to the point they turn you away. Andy, while I completely respect your position here, I also completely disagree. I didn't have a lounge in my home airport for a very long time, and I still enjoyed the lounge during my connections. Obviously, if you watch the channel, you guys know how I feel about airport lounges, but if you don't value them, then I can understand that as well. I've heard plenty of stories where the airport lounge really saved a trip, or at least made it a much better experience. Traveling's tough and stressful sometimes, and for me, lounges offer a reprieve from all that. Kyle Edelbrock says IHG is underrated as a brand, and getting both of the premier cards, the consumer card and the business card, nets you 2 free night certs for $198. It's a great deal for solid cards. Kyle, I'm with you here, man. IHG is very underrated, and I think at least some of that value comes into play on the affordable end. We just went to a smaller town to watch a rock concert, and we stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. It was one of those quick one-night things, and that hotel was everything we needed, and even had a pretty good free breakfast. I plan to utilize the IHG program more and more. Could it ever become my primary program? I don't see that happening, but for now, I won't rule it out. Sir Friendzone, it's a very unfortunate name. The Ritz-Carlton card might be the most overpowered card for the money available in the US. Okay, I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes here because this is a great card, but let's not get too carried away here. I'm not a fan of calling in to get airline incidentals reimbursed. Honestly, I don't think I would even do it. The huge certificate night makes it a great card, but for my money, it just does not compete with the Hilton Aspire card. I think a large part of this appeal is that you can't just get it. You have to jump through hoops, and that changes the card's perceived value. I also don't like how Ritz properties really don't have to follow any Marriott rules. They pretty much do what they want, and if you don't like it, then tough. I will close on this though. The Ritz-Carlton provides amazing service. What a great place to take someone special. Send0202 says the Amex Green Card is better for 90% of the people over the gold, and it's a top tier travel card. He also says Capital One Duo is top 3 best setups. Okay, let's unpack this. I think this version of the Green Card is big league. I highly value the clear service, so in my eyes, this card pays for itself. The multipliers are great, and if anyone cares, it's the coolest looking card in the game. Is it better than the gold card for 90% of folks? That's a bold statement. I think the gold card is going to out-earn the green for anyone that doesn't live alone in a big city. But I still like the take on the card. As far as the Capital One Duo, it's a great setup for sure. It makes a lot of sense for where it is and the price points. And I think if you really know how to use the points for partners, you can kill this game for sure. PG says many of us only got the CSP card for the sub and the primary CDW. Chase makes us keep it year after year so we can transfer our points out. Otherwise, the card is pointless. See what you did. Man, PG, I really can't argue this. The only reason I got the card was for the bonus and knowing I would product change it to a Freedom Flex the following year. I much prefer the Chase Ink Preferred over the CSP. I would even spend some time comparing the CSP to the CSR to see if that would be a better option because the CSP just doesn't get used at all for me. Father 7875 has a very bold take. Hilton Aspire plus Surpass as a pair is better than any trifecta. Father, I can really understand how this could be a great setup for some folks, especially if you don't fly much or you're someone who prefers to pay cash for flight deals. The Aspire Surpass earning system, for those of us that know how to use Hilton points, could be great for someone that really values their hotel stays. You'll be earning 7 times on dining, flights, car rentals, 6 times on groceries, gas, and a floor of 3 times on everything. It's not as crazy as it sounds. Baseball says that hotel status is more important than focusing on points. That's pretty interesting as well. I am a big fan of hotel status, but I can also understand the free agent mentality because with travel points, I can stay anywhere. I would like to hear what you guys think about this one though. Adam BA, not to be confused with my man Adam J and his kids, says that pending charges not immediately counting towards your balance is a ploy by credit card companies to make it difficult to track spending. They're hoping you overspend. Adam, I can understand this one, but I don't think I've ever overspent because I didn't take in consideration a pending charge. Your mileage may vary. Jay Shaw's World, American Express can't really be used abroad, as many places abroad still don't accept them. You're forced to carry a Visa or MasterCard for backup. I agree. Always have a no foreign transaction fee Visa or MasterCard in your wallet. Always. You never know when you're going to wake up in another country. Noah Makowitz has a hot take. He says that cents per point is not a good metric for judging the value of a redemption. It's just the most objective on paper. He thinks a better way to look at it is to figure what you would realistically pay minus the amount of cash you could have gotten for the points used, and that's a real value. He says most of us would not pay $10,000 for a flight, no matter how good it is, and it's not reasonable to base the redemption on that. When people look at the credits, they understand you should not value them at full value if you wouldn't have spent that money anyways. But they don't look at redemptions the same way. All right, so let me spend some time on this one because I have a fairly strong opinion. I hear so many folks try to apply their logic to make something cost less in some type of value sense. By this logic, my next flight to Prague, I think it would cost around $4,000. It was 55,000 points, but there was a 30% bonus to transfer my MR points. So maybe in total it was 42,000 American Express MR points. Let me see if I can get this right. Those points would have been worth $420. And me personally, I would pay around $500 for this super awesome business class flight to Prague. I just wouldn't pay more than that. So I'm supposed to value this redemption at $80 and not the $4,000 that it cost the guy sitting next to me. I don't know, man. That logic does not apply to anything else anyone on the planet Earth purchases. I don't believe cents per point is a great metric, but it's a way to have some fun in the hobby and feel good about foregoing the cash option to do some things that me personally, I would never ever be able to do. I think when you hear someone talking about redemption value, the point is that they are trying to convey the fact that their credit card points help them purchase something of great value to them. I'm someone that would never be able to fly overseas in a lie flat seat and stay at a 5-star resort, ever. But using credit card points, I can, pretty much whenever I want. That doesn't make that $1,000 a night room less valuable. The price is the price. If you don't value the product, then that is definitely something I respect, but your perceived value doesn't change my redemption. And at the end of the day, personal finance is always very personal. One question though, Noah, have you ever flown across the pond on Singapore Airlines and experienced the type of professional service they offer? Have you ever gone back to your suite at the Ritz-Carlton in Dubai and found a bunch of fruit carved into animal shapes with a chilled bottle of wine next to it? Ever heard your wife say something like, "This might be the last time we have all these kids together on vacation"? I'm not so sure I could put a price on that. This next name I can't read, but it ends with FTW. For the win, I'm hoping. Amex Gold is actually overrated and causes a lot of friction just to earn 4 times on dining and groceries when other cards can do it with less credits and lower annual fees to worry about. Well, my man, the gold might be overrated, but for me, you're factually wrong. You can't earn 4 times Amex MR points on dining and groceries without the gold card. I just did a video trying to get rid of the gold card and I could not find a real alternative. And your equation probably doesn't take into effect how much you earn at higher spends. At higher spends, the gold card just pulls away from anything that I could come up with. Justin says the hotel cards can be a good catch-all for frequent or heavy travelers. I agree, man. There are several hotel cards that earn well on that everything else category, And hotel points seem to be easily maximized for a lot of us. Ballin says he feels like some creators overhype mid-tier cards because they see others talking about them. I don't know if that's true, but the good news is that there are a lot of us credit card creators in this space. Find someone that you can trust and that you get some entertainment or maybe even some knowledge from them. Then just take that and figure out what is best for you. But if you're talking about the World of Hyatt card, then you are correct. It's way overhyped. PM4122 says Choice Privilege Select MasterCard is the best $95 hotel credit card in the space. I'm not sure if you're serious or not, but I do agree that it is a great card for those of us that will stay at those properties. There's a lot of value in that card for sure, and it does get overlooked. Jay Brown fires some shots and says most YouTubers are only promoting what's got the current bonus or the best affiliate payout. Jay, you could be right, but I will push back a little bit. The creators we had out in Vegas were very high caliber men, in my opinion. Everyone wants to get paid, but I don't think the guys I've been around are deceitful or dishonest whatsoever. But like I said earlier, find some guys that seem trustworthy and let them help entertain or provide knowledge. Discard the rest. And this might actually be a great time to bring up that I have a super awesome card link in the description below. Using that link really supports my channel and it allows me to provide you with mostly sponsor-free content. If you've used the link in the past, I sincerely thank you. Clicking on creators' links is what allows most of us to spend the time making videos. Trust me, I'm not out here shopping for new Ferraris on my YouTube earnings. Longtime friend of the channel, Jimmy James, says loyalty to airline and hotel programs is vastly overrated. I somewhat agree. These are business decisions and we should always be using the programs that provide us with the most value. Most of these relationships should be mutually beneficial and we should all choose those relationships wisely. Average AM says airline cards are almost never worth it. Hey man, agreed. I think the small exception could be an affordable airline card that grants you free check bags and you fly that airline frequently. And if that applies to you, I think it might make sense. PG states hotel status is more important than airline status. I'm with you, PJ, and I actually have a couple videos on that topic as well. Aaron says that aspirational travel isn't worth the points. I'm going to say that it is a very personal view. For me, it's easily worth it because of the reasons I travel. For others, economy is the way to go. That's the beauty of this game. It is so customizable. Bobby Vilch is comparing the Amex Green Card to the Chase Ink Business Preferred. He says the Ink Preferred provides more value for less annual fee. I think both of these cards are great, and I think either would be a great addition to so many folks' setup. The Ink does have primary CDW and a much higher bonus, but the Green, in my opinion, has a positive effective annual fee. It's awesome we have so many choices. Daniel Crotty says that most Amex cards aren't worth keeping after the first year. He says they're too much work, too expensive to get your money and time and effort back. I can't argue this at all. That's a very personal experience with cards like that. And there are for sure easier cards and easier systems. But for me, I'm still an Amex guy. And I like what Amex can provide me. There are times I do feel like simplifying everything and going straight no annual fee cash back. But I always come back to Amex cards. Guys, comment and tell me how you feel about some of these hot takes. Okay guys, that was almost all of your credit card hot takes. Remember, if you want any more information about credit cards, especially for you, Jay Brown, check out my super nice and organized card link in the description below. And this was a long one, so if you stayed around all the way to the end, I appreciate you and I thank every single one of you.